Suleiman, kí ló ń wò yìí? Má bọ̀ lẹ́yìn.
Your 5 to 13-year-old child should have no business with a phone if you, as the parents, are going to be too lazy to monitor them. And when I mean monitoring, I mean close marking down to the prompts they type in, the sites they visit, the apps they use. And there should be very limited access on that phone. Because, we have these problems of child trafficking, child pornography, just to mention a few. And you have probably told your kids not to talk to any stranger, but boy, oh boy, when you hand that phone to your kids, by the way, that's not just a phone. When you hand that phone to your kids, you've literally handed the whole world to them. The whole world is in their hands. The strangers you told them not to talk to, they are all there. The places you wouldn't have allowed them to go, they can go through that phone. The things you wouldn't have allowed them to see, for example, if you were seeing a movie and perhaps a kissing scene was coming, you would ask them to leave. You've given it to them without guidance. The predators that you are afraid of that has made you change your location or changed your children's school or restricted them from going outside, from going to friends, they have become very innovative. They are in your children's phones. Through the apps they use, the games they play, they are everywhere. So giving your phone to your kids or getting them a phone without supervision, boy, this topic bothers me a lot because I only realize now that I'm older what this device did to me when I was a teenager. By the way, it's not just a phone. And back then, it wasn't even a smartphone. It was a button phone. My parents didn't know I had a phone in the house for perhaps over a year. So you can imagine. Now let me ask you, hiding a whole phone in the house versus hiding the prompts you use or the sites you visit or the apps you visit, which one is harder? Hiding the phone, of course. My parents didn't know I had the phone. And boy, oh boy, what that phone did to me. I'll leave that for another day. I was using a phone in the house for how long? Until I upgraded and started using smartphones. Imagine, I'm talking about between 10 to 13 years of age. I had 2 smartphones eventually. And my mom only caught me in the shop one day. I think I misplaced the phone. I hid it in the wrong place. And she found the 2 smartphones. Before they knew I was using phone. And they didn't even know I'd been using phone since before then. You have missed it if you think your kids are stupid. Those your lazy app hiding skills, or perhaps you tell them not to visit a certain site, not to use a specific app, not to open your WhatsApp, and you expect them to listen to you. Even if they listen to you, there are 1,000 others that can ruin them. So you're a joker if you think that will work. You've missed it completely. These kids are smarter than you think they are. And the bad thing is that they won't tell you. If they find something new, they won't tell you. Especially if you are the type that scolds them a lot. They would not tell you. You think everything is fine. They might be going through secret battles that may culminate in their future lives. And you think everything is fine. And in my case, this so-called phone led me down the path of pornography, the consumption of pornography. And I know what it did to me. This threw me into many battles I had to fight as a teenager for years. And it is only now that I've grown up that I now know that it was as a result of the pornography I was watching at that time. And thank God, luckily, very luckily, I didn't go down the path of masturbation. I don't know how it happened, but I didn't go down that path. Perhaps I would have been fighting that battle till now. Many still do. So you see this thing, it's not a joke, especially the Gen Z parents. You want to be all nice and you are very lazy. I think we are going to make the laziest generation of parents. You just leave the phone to the child, please. So far the child doesn't cry, the child doesn't disturb after you give them the phone. Of course, just take the phone, go to your room. Oh, sorry. You've heard of kids that just disappeared. They just left the house. It didn't happen overnight. Somebody had been grooming them through this. And the parents didn't know. These things are happening every day in our society. And nobody's talking about it. The device is not for your kids. If you cannot monitor them, if you are not smarter than them, in most cases, that's the thing. I would say in most cases, the coming generation is always smarter than the present because I'm only imagining it now. How was I using a phone in the house with my parents, both parents, and they didn't know? For how long? I learned a lot of things through that device, through those devices, because I was always, the resources were there. I was always changing devices. Perhaps they'll steal one from me. I'll go and get another one. I'll go and try to swap one. They'll steal this from me because I was very naive. A teenager, 12, 13, 14, thereabout. So you see, you really have to be really, 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 really smart. Because I was using the phone in the house and they didn't know that my father would never have gotten me a phone. Definitely. Not even because of the safety reasons, but he's not the kind of person, he's not that kind of sweet guy that would take a phone. Would never ever touch his phone. If you are going to give a phone to your kid, you must be equal to the task. Download lock apps, lock and lock and lock. By the way, those rated channels you use, for example, YouTube for kids is not really YouTube for kids. So if you think you turn on that and your kids will be okay, sorry, you have missed it. Even every single program has to be vetted by you before you let your kids consume them. If you are not ready to have a child, please respect yourself. Don't go and bring a child into this world that you'll be too lazy to take care of, and then you hand it over to daddy internet and mommy internet to take care of for you. Later you come and there's child sexualization everywhere. Later you come and say justice for this, justice for that. When you have been so lazy, you have been nothing close to equal to the task. Before you brought a child into the world, later you come and shout justice for this, justice for that. They did this to my child. They took my child and ran away. Please.